Here's one of the reasons why you are still unsafe in Indian cities. The CCTVs set up by your governments to secure you and increase surveillance are not functional in most Indian cities. Mirror Now reporters checked the government claims in India's megacities. Here's what they found.
In fact, for the city of Chennai alone, 600 locations have been identified as vulnerable, and Chennai City police are on the move to install 100,000 CCTV cameras.
Crimes happen only when a criminal feels no, he'll get unnoticed. So when there is a CCTV, you may be seeing it in our all our ads and all. We call it as a third eye. So when he feels that someone is watching him, automatically the behavior of a criminal may get changed.
I don't think the implementation of CCTVs the implementation of CCTV has been effective.
Once people are starting to feel threatened or afraid that they're being recorded on camera, their moves will be practice. They may avoid certain things that you generally won't if there's no CCTV camera.
Speaking to the Mumbai police officials, they have confirmed to us that they have about 5,200, more than 5,200 cameras, CCTV cameras that have been installed across the city of Mumbai. They are in functional state.
In a shocking revelation being made by the Delhi police, they have admitted that out of close to 4,300 CCTV cameras that are installed in the national capital, more than 1,500 are not functioning.
Meanwhile, taking advantage of the blind spots in our cities, crime against women in India is showing a steady increase. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, over 3,38,000 cases of crimes against women were registered in 2016. The conviction rate for these crimes is an equally abysmal 18%. So on Mirror Now we ask, how long till women feel safe in their own city? How much longer for our governments to prioritize women's safety?
Watching the urban debate on Mirror Now, I'm Faye. So we're talking about keeping women safe. Not protecting women, which is a different thing, but keeping women safe. Women are equal citizens of this country and they are owed the same safety that the men receive. The question we're asking is very simple. Why do Indian women feel unsafe? Why are we unsafe? And are there any solutions? Joining me on the show, Ranjana Kumari, Director of the Centre for Social Research, Vikram Singh, former DGP Uttar Pradesh, Trisha Shetty is a lawyer and the founder of an NGO called She Says, who joins us on Skype from overseas. But I'm very glad to have her as part of the show. Deepika Singh Rajawat is a lawyer who joins us out of Jammu and Kashmir, who's become a champion of women's rights and justice for women. Lalita Kumaramangalam is a member of the BJP and former chief of the National Commission for Women. And Avnish Kosta is the Associate Director of Consumer Business for Vodafone. Vodafone's bringing in an interesting service that they hope will help women feel safer in India. Ranjana Kumari, my first question is to you. There is a lot going on in the country right now, but sometimes we do need to spend, time at prime time solving for problems, because asking the government has not gotten us very far. My question to you is, why are Indian women unsafe? Why do we find cases, gory cases of rape and crime against women increasing every day?
Well, because Indian women live in an environment of violence. They live in, according to the data just now your colleague quoted, majority of the cases of rape and violence, domestic violence, dowry-related violence, child brutalization, all that happens inside the homes. Then public places are not safe because we have seen so many gang rapes and so many rapes which happen in public places. And now with Me Too movement, the offices are not safe, the workplaces are not safe. Forget about in the whole of the informal sector of the economy, because all these women who go for daily wages jobs, they are not so safe from their contractors. So I think it's just the environment and culture of violence of really entitlement. One side, it is male entitlement. They think that they can do it and get away with that. And for a long, long time, they have been able to get away with that. And because of the impunity of the law, because the way police acts in our cities, because the way we are all within the families training our boys to be as ruffians, we are training them to be, going and molesting women, but when it comes to girls, we tell them everything, and also including the pressure to protect them. On the other side, when you look at the way law enforcement acts, hardly there is any conviction which is coming by. In spite of all these discussions one after the other, so much of talk has been going on. But look at the courts, look at our courts, look at the way so many cases are pending and convictions are not coming by. So even Nirbhaya's violators are still waiting for the final judgment. So when you look at the cumulative picture, it is really something where a message is very loud and clear that look, girls, women, you can do whatever you want to do to protect yourselves, but here we are, the predators are all over, whether it is home, whether it is in public places, whether in the offices, everywhere they are there, and you better do something about yourself, because as a country, as a nation, we are not really paying attention. Look, governments after governments have made that promise that we will create safety and security, and look at your own report about CCTV footage. This was seen as a magic wand, that everywhere we will install CCTV footage and that will stop the crime against women, because at least the evidence can be produced through the CCTV footage. But look, I mean, 5,000 cameras, thousands of hours of footage, and somebody has to sit down behind those screens to watch what is going on, and somebody has to really intervene at the right time. Cameras are not the answer to anything unless somebody is monitoring those, supervising, somebody is looking through the whole thing. So, look at the way this whole culture of violence against women.
Vikram Singh, my question to you as a law enforcer, as a former law enforcer, we have an 18% conviction rate, and this is of cases that are reported. We're not even talking about the cases that are either burked or not reported at all. Is this the problem? Is this the reason why people feel emboldened to commit crime against women, because the police are not strong enough or the justice system is not strong enough?
Very pertinent question, Faye. May I submit, please, that as you very rightly said, that these conviction rates happen to pertain to the figures of the registrations, which again is not the real figure. The real figure would be much, much more in the registration, and the consequent conviction rate would be absolutely disappointing. In this case, let me tell you, firstly, the ecosystem in which the police is working, women's security issues come not in the top 10 priorities. Even after the 13th Criminal Law Amendment Act, have we had any single conviction under 166A of the IPC? I dare say that we have not had a single conviction. And if we have not had a single conviction, that means that we are not serious about enforcing the rule of law. And if we are not serious about, then the question of the CCTVs. The CCTVs happen to be the vestiges of an obsolete technology. First of all, there is a technical person on the panel. I would request him to shed some light on the incompatibility of the hardware and the software that we have in place. Then the obsolete CCTV systems that we have in place, they do not record. They record things that are unintelligible. And when it comes to producing them by way of evidence, there is hardly any relevance to their picture quality, their recordings, and their production in a code of law would, of course, create more harm than good.
Lalita Kumar Mangla, we also, right now when we started this conversation, I received responses from some people who are viewing the show who said, why would you bring up a topic like this to malign our country? Now, here's the problem. Discussing why women are unsafe in our country is not to give the country a bad name, but to improve the situation on the ground. Do you believe we're paying enough attention to women's safety?
No, as a country, we are not paying enough attention to women's safety. And I'm very sorry to hear the reactions you've got from some of your viewers, because I think that's the ostrich mentality. You bury your head in the sand and then say that we can't see anything. The truth is that as a nation, we have let down our women, generation after generation, government after government. as the gentleman from the police just said, I thank him for his honesty. The entire system, the justice system is almost geared against women. I know it's a very strong statement, but I have seen, crime after crime go underreported. When reported, not enough evidence being made available, a lack of labs that we need, forensic labs that we need. There should be one in every district. I doubt if we have one in every state in this country. The lack of training and motivation and orientation to the people in the lower echelons of the police. The higher echelons may be fine, but the lower echelons is the first, it's the doorstep for a woman to get into when she wants to make a complaint, and you know how they are treated there. The entire system, the lack of women judges in this country at every level. I'm told at the district level it's slightly better, but the high courts and the Supreme Court, as you know, is not good at all. We don't have a single woman. I mean, it's very difficult to find women in the high courts in this country. There are many, many reasons that we can go on and on about, but I think the most important even today is the collective conscience of this country. As Ranjana ji pointed out, mothers who bring up their sons to feel that they are infallible and that they can get away with anything they do, and the pressure put on girls to constantly conform, to constantly say that, we are not capable of this, we are not capable of that. I do hope that every young woman today knows that part of the reason why she's unsafe is perhaps, and I'm very sorry I have to say this, really I'm very sorry, that she needs to take her own protection on herself. In this country, we seem to be having a sort of counter-attack on women who are educated, on women who want to come out into the public space and participate, which is their constitutional right. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but as a nation, we seem to have collectively failed our women, even today.
Aitaji, let me point out what, while I agree collective conscience and the way we think about women and the way we raise our boys is something we have to fix, but quite frankly, I don't have the time to wait for that to happen. It's going to take too long and we'll lose too many lives along the way waiting for that to happen. But in the meantime, here's some statistics, Lalitaji, I would like for you to react to. An ADR study conducted in 2017 told us that 51 of our MPs and MLAs have rape cases pending against them. 14 with the BJP, 7 with the Shiv Sena, 6 with the TMC and the rest with others. Now, here's a place that we can start with. Secondly, when you said that there aren't enough, women are not being encouraged to come and take their place in society, we only have 11% representation in Rajya Sabha and in Lok Sabha. Is that a good place to start? The people who make the laws, the people who set the priorities in our country, to actually have more women in those positions of power.
Absolutely. I think it's about time Parliament passed the women's reservation law. It's been pending for over 25 years. I think that itself collectively, I mean, all parliamentarians should feel sorry they haven't done it. It's really about time. We've seen that at the panchayat level, the 33% reservation that was brought in over 25 years ago has brought about remarkable changes in governance at the local level. I'm not saying women are totally safe at the local level, in villages, etc. They aren't. But there are changes which perhaps could be far longer lasting if we had more women even in Parliament, and especially in Parliament. But it's not just Parliament where there are not enough women. Whether it's on the boards of directors, whether it is on the boards of companies, whether it is in the legal system, whether now the police has slowly started improving, whether in many, many places. I mean, if I start off, it will never end this list. But we also need to now start training our men to be better human beings. We paid a lot of attention to our girls, and I'm not saying we shouldn't continue to do so, but we seem to have neglected teaching our men to respect women. That really is a lack of foresight on the part of everybody. I don't want to call anybody any names or put blame here or there. That is why I say that even as women, many of us have failed other women too. There are many like Anjana and me who worked for years and years, and sometimes we feel very tired. And we say, what is happening? There doesn't seem to be any change. But we must also start training our men to be better human beings.
Well, I'm going to open up the phone lines because I want our viewers to contribute to this conversation as well. We have to, at some point, stop to take a look at what is wrong
and figure out how we can fix these problems as a country collectively. Deepika Singh Rajawat, you're a champion as far as I'm concerned, but you've also received a lot of hate for the stand you have taken for women's safety, for the cases you've picked up, for the fact that you've stood alone in several cases. Do you believe that strong women are targeted? That in our country, we just feel like we cannot handle a strong woman?
Definitely, and I would start with, like you started your program with saying like why women are not safe in India, why women are not safe in our country, and I completely agree with the lady who was just speaking. She said, I think we need to teach our men how to respect women, and I believe in our country women are not respected, women are not treated with dignity. I think they are considered just soft target. And if it is to protect women's rights, if it is to protect women, I think a lot need to be done. We need to work on a lot of things so that women are protected. I'll just give an example of a police station where a woman goes for registration of FIR, and the SHO does not give her patient hearing. She is sent back without registration of FIR, and she is not even given the receipt of the complaint. Where the things start, when women are not treated well, when the laws are not implemented, and I believe a lot needs to be done to actually implement the law. See, we don't need to bring more law now. We need to implement the law, and we need to work on the law enforcing agencies so that the law is implemented and women are actually protected. And of course, yes, we need to teach our men how to respect women. We need to create that atmosphere. We need to create that amicable atmosphere for women to work. See, pain to see cases coming up in Me Too campaign. Yesterday only a police officer from our state also said how she was sexually exploited by a top cop, and a woman police officer exploited by the top cop. You can just imagine the understanding, the mentality of men in our country, how they feel that women are soft target and how they are targeted. Yes, of course, it is very difficult for every woman to work. Take an example, take my example. When I was for that little girl, when I fought for that child, how I was targeted. My character was assassinated just because I'm a woman. Just because I'm a woman, I was a lot of wrong articles were written. I was attached with a lot of people, and just to assassinate, just to weaken my movement. I mean, it was said that she's not having a good character, or she's this, she's that. Just that, because the mentality is such. Altogether, it is really very difficult, and I believe situation in our country related to women is very poor. A lot needs to be done to protect women in our country.
Yes. In fact, Deepika Singh Rajawat, for our viewers who don't know, was the lawyer who defended the or who spoke for the victim in the Katwa rape case, where the victim was only 8 years old. You'll remember that case from Jammu and Kashmir. It shook the whole country, and she was the only one who stood from the entire Bar Association of Jammu, all of the men on one side and Deepika by herself on the other side. Ranjana Kumari, this happens a lot. Questioning a woman who stands up on her character, on who she is, on what she wears, to sort of break the spirit of whoever is fighting. You faced it. Trisha Shetty has faced it as well. But you first, Ranjana, is that something that has happened to you in the past?
Well, you see, this is something which is very normal, very common, to target women who have some courage, some power, to be able to speak out, to be able to do something about it, to be able to walk into a crowd and in a community and say this is wrong and we shall not tolerate that, and teach the women not to tolerate that. The moment you teach the women to break the silence, to start siding with them, start doing things for them, certainly all my life I've faced it, but that's not an issue, because I have the courage and I can face it. That doesn't matter to me at all. But what is important, Faye, and I think we should now start talking about the shift, the power shift, because all this happens because men are empowered. They have all the kinds of, cultural, social, religious, every kind of authority and power given to them because of the patriarchy. They are the ones. So shift of the power, give women everywhere, start moving towards 50% in everything. If women have the power, they will be able to make the correction, because as long as we are praying to men, begging to men, asking men and boys to change, it is not going to to happen, because this is what we have seen over 3 decades, 4 decades of my own work. Then you beg, you tell, oh please, but they are not going to, because that's culturally rooted in them.
Yes.
That's what the mindset that gets created. But the moment there is somebody with authority and power, you start fearing the person. Look at this whole India's parliament. Why can't they really pass the women reservation bill? Everybody in audio panel said, and shift the power balance. The moment you shift the power balance, women are capable of doing it. Women are able to protect not only themselves, even their children, and everybody will get protected in the society. But what is happening is all power, all authority, all entitlements, to control women's body is with men. And that is why all this happens. And then when you look at the law enforcement agencies, when you look at the justice delivery system, everywhere the men are in power to be able to, so they can afford not to look at a rape case in serious manner. They can afford the magistrate, the judges, they can defer the cases for indefinite period, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Sexual harassment, Me Too movement. Look at the power of the men sitting in the offices and the workplaces. Look at the way all these girls are screaming at top of their voice, and people, instead of trying to look into the matter, trying to ask for investigations, are blaming the girls for raising these issues. So I think that is what is important, is to start getting the control, authority and power.
In fact, Ranjana, one thing is to